Episode 25.
Here we are.
Final round of Pro Motocross. We are squeezing this in like Hayden Deegan squeezed his ass cheeks to turn that double into a triple. That's what we're doing. We are squeezing this in. We've got a hurricane, tropical storm thingy brewing out in the Gulf that's going to either hit us or brush us. You've got to pick up kids. I've got stuff going on. And we are squeezing this in because, one, it was the final round of Pro Motocross. They get a week break, I think a week, and then it's maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
September 16th? September 9th.
September 9th. So they get a little break, reset. But, boy, we got Pro Motocross from Ironman. By the way, we're going to touch on this. Last 2 rounds of the year produced. We need to start working on tracks like Budds Creek and Ironman. Great tracks. We also have some Dade City news because we had round, I don't know, X plus Y.
I want to say 15, but I honestly don't keep track. We just race it.
You just race it. But we had some success this weekend in the Pee Wee motocross world, and so let's dive in. Episode 25 of Beyond the Curve, the MX podcast, brought to you by DBS Custom Fabrication and Handyman Services and Michelle and Trey Real Estate. We got some things to touch on. We're under a tight time frame, so this is not going to be long. It's going to be concise. Let's go.
Here we are, Mass Hysteria, Florida.
Yeah.
Under the sun that's about to be gray and green and every other color, so everybody else thinks.
Yeah, on the way here is like the moderate rain will be starting in 25 minutes. So you may have a shower. You may have the Calm app playing in the back of this.
Yeah, that's very possible.
With the rain falling.
Yeah, we're about 36 hours out from a Cat 3 hurricane, so we're not concerned here whatsoever. But, you know, it makes my job hard when I got people loading plywood when I'm trying to do my job. But
well, yes, and it was funny. I went to go grab some stuff today from the convenience store just for convenience, not hurricane. And there were people in line like, "Are you prepared? Are you prepared?" And I'm like, "I got peanut butter and toilet paper. I'm good to go." Like,
yeah, I'm prepared to do my podcast. I don't care about whatever's brewing out there.
I'm good to go. Like, we're good. Like,
we live in Florida.
It happens. And honestly, I think we're gonna get a brushing glance. But the way this storm is wobbling, we're gonna get rain. Thank goodness, because we need it.
Yeah.
Central Florida has been weirdly in a summer dry spell.
Yeah, it's been a gnarly drought going on.
Yeah.
So we're actually this hurricane's actually a godsend. I know nobody else thinks of it that way, but
well, especially where it's actually going to hit. It's going to go in probably as a Cat 3, deteriorate to a Cat 1 immediately, and we're going to get rain, winds. Biggest thing for us is we're going to lose cable because where we live,
Yep.
we lose cable every single time.
We lose internet.
Yeah.
Every single time it rains, we get a gusty. Our thunderstorms are typically worse than these hurricanes.
Yeah.
So I think the last hurricane, Ian, we lost the internet for 5 days.
Yeah.
So
we're trying to knock this out today, get this done, get it up, and get it posted. Yes, we were late last week, and I apologize. We did the podcast on time. I put it on a stick. We took it with us. Michelle and I were in a business conference for 2 days, which turned into 3 days because Delta has a beautiful terminal in Detroit. But it flooded the tunnel to get to the terminal, so there was a day lost in our lives.
Yeah.
And we got it out as soon as we could. We're good. It's all good. So
fine.
All of those 14 of you that need to see this every week, we got it out. It finally got out. And guess what? You're going to get back-to-back because we're going to put this one out today. So
I haven't even posted the video yet, so it's going to be video on top of video. But,
hey, it's all good. It's the end of the season. Like many of the riders, we're just trying to get through.
Yeah, at this point. So we said before, we got some big stuff coming up, but that's nearing the end of the year, and hopefully next week we might have a good guest on.
There's a lot of fun stuff to touch on because, like, I talked with one of the guests we've had before, standing in a 6-hour line in an opposing terminal at an airport, setting up some potential stuff for him next year, which is kind of fun being in this position of, like, I'm nobody, but I'm trying to help also a guy that's a nobody as well. And,
we'll get there.
Yeah, and
we'll get to the news on that here, too, in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
That's in the planning as we
So
as
it's just fun. It's fun, like, and the lady standing beside me, and she's like, "So what are you working on?" I'm like, "I'm in real estate, but my fun part of my life is I kind of dive into other stuff, and that was actually a racing call. And she's like, "Oh, you're in racing?" And I'm like, I don't want to say yes, I'm in racing, but I help people in racing. And she's like, "Oh, that's awesome." So, dude, it's just do what you love. I.e., the picture of Matt Bell sitting on the flight going to Indy with James Stewart.
Yep.
And by the way, where was his wife? Because his wife was on the return flight with him.
I'm sure she was there, but that's one of those moments where, honey, you gotta scoot over a little bit.
And it's ironic. I didn't know anything about this, but Michelle and I, because of our flight debacle, we did not fly together on the way home. We were together on the same flight.
Different seats.
Yeah,
it happens frequently.
And so I was sitting beside some dude, and I took a selfie because we always do selfies. That's our Michelle and I thing. We do a selfie, and I'm like, "You're not my wife." Like this dude, random dude, and he's like looking at me like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it. No one's gonna know who you are." But I just thought it was funny. Like, dude, my selfie was not as good as Matt Bell's selfie with James Stewart. And but no, great weekend. Let's touch, because I think the most important thing, the season ended. There was some cool stuff. I want to talk about that to wrap up our kind of hour. But I want to touch on Bowen after we had the Florida Motocross Series and we had the Dade City round back-to-back in that sweltering heat. You've had a couple weeks off. You come back to do the Dade City round. How did that translate, and how did the weekend go?
So last week, actually, speaking of HBI, we trained with Cole Bradford.
Oh.
I don't even think I got to tell you about that. We trained with Cole Bradford last week. He kind of opened Bowen up quite a bit, so that was nice. He come to us, and we did some drills, and I think it really progressed to the weekend. He thought more about what was going on, and Dade City, they changed the entire track this weekend, had a supercross feel to it, and It was awesome. It was a very tight track for big bikes. I know there's a lot of wrecks.
I saw a picture of Caleb going flying W.
Caleb Groves. I was actually going to bring him up here in a little bit. He did a little. He sat down with Bowen and talked to him at the line. I've never heard that kid open up before. Like, my child opened up to somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, he's telling him the exact same things that I tell him. But Caleb got down on his level, and hats off to you, Caleb. He's potential guest here pretty soon, as soon as we can get him down here. But he got down with him, started talking to him, and Bowen, usually looks away. He looked right at him and started asking him questions and this and that. So Moto 2, I think, I give it all to Caleb. He opened him up. I mean, I give it to Bowen and his hard work of what he's been going through the last few weeks. But Caleb opened that kid up. We pulled a whole shot in Moto 2. I'm not even talking about Moto 1 in either one, because he just had a rough go at it at first. He was in the lead in Moto 1, and then we went down and finished out fourth on the P-Dub. But Moto 2, that kid come out swinging, pulled a whole shot, just battling. Layla Brandt, she's another kid in their class. That girl is always on rails, and those two were just battled and battled and battled. And it was a good night, not just for us, but everybody. Like I said, that track was awesome to me. I was jealous that I didn't get to ride it. I wish I would have took my bike in the worst kind of way, because that's the style that I like. Very tight, very technical. I heard a lot of guys complaining about it, but it just looks so much fun. Kyle's the one that built it. Manager out at Moto Sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
So he's actually the manager at Dade City as well, Kyle Cheeseman. And he designed the track this week, and it, like I said, unbelievable in my opinion.
Isn't it cool, though? Because a lot of the tracks don't change that much, but it's really cool at Dade City. That is something. You may have the similar layout, the floor plan, but that track, they do change it frequently.
Yeah, but every week we get a different section. If the track stays the same, we still get a different section or two, regardless. And that's the one thing I love about Dade City. Hats off to Randy Yoho, because they change it all the time. These kids they might be Dade City kids. You might get some guys that are, they've always raced Dade City. That's all they race. But you're still getting a different track every week. Where, PA, where we were from, you get the same track every week. Yeah. Same lines, same track, same jumps. They don't change anything. They might add a section here or there, and it used to be just like an extra turn section, or they'll throw a single in there or something. But Dade City, they will change this track all the time.
Yeah.
So you never know what you're coming into. You got to practice on Thursday nights. They practice 4 to 6 for the little bikes and 6 to 10, I want to say, for the big bikes.
Yeah.
That's your first opportunity to see the track, and that's your only opportunity before you race it Saturday.
Yeah.
So
No, that is the really cool part about that facility, because in reality, that nighttime track, the night track, is on a pretty small footprint, but they do some cool stuff to change it up pretty drastically each time. So congratulations to Bowen. He got an overall third.
Third overall,
Yeah.
yep.
Very good. So I guess week off, and then you'll have training tomorrow, depending on the weather.
I don't know how it's going to end up this week because, like I said, we're doing some training with Cole now, and he's Tampa area, so everybody's kind of in and out.
Well, just get him over. We got caught. I got a spare bedroom. He can come over and hang out.
We're hoping to maybe hit Spider this week since we're going to get some rain, so we'll hit.
Is it the new Spider or the old Spider?
The old Spider. We'll go on the roof and maybe do some training with Caleb up there. So we'll see what happens, but. It was a good weekend, I think, for everybody. It wasn't too hot. I mean, it was hot, but nothing like
the week
the
before.
last race. It was just brutal.
So that's something I wanted to ask you. Like, you guys have the big toy hauler. You pull. Do you take that over for just a Friday night race, or do you do something simpler? Do you just throw the bike in the back of the truck and go?
We take toy hauler with us all the time.
Okay.
At this point, you got 3 kids. It's a convenience. I mean, it's one of those things that as a kid, me racing, even as a teenager or early 20s, that you always dream about having something like that. Then once you do, it's life changing when it comes to the races. So, but it's not just the races for us. I mean, we've created family there at this point. So
you got your race friends and different things.
We head up Friday night. We stay there until Sunday morning, and it's like camping every weekend.
Yeah, that's cool.
But we have coming up. We got Gold Cup starts September 16th.
So you're gonna run that series this year?
As much as we can.
Okay.
It's from here on out. We got a very hectic life. It's gonna be racing every weekend. We have this weekend off. Probably do some more riding, do some training this week, and then from here on out up until November, it's solid racing.
And we'll post the Gold Cup link on our YouTube page so that if you want to see where those races are, if you're out and about on a weekend. Amateur motocross is just it's not too expensive to get in. They have cool concession stands, and you get to watch kids, old people as well, go race, and you're like, oh, this is like and you will see the family that is involved in racing.
Yeah, it creates family.
Yeah. So, awesome. A Gold Cup, I don't know how the series is now. When I was younger and I was literally just a fan who went and watched races, we hit a lot of Gold Cup races watching them. So I'm looking forward to seeing that schedule and where they are because, hey, Michelle and I might take a Sunday and go cruise too.
I'll tell you, round 1's a Diamondback, so September 16th.
I've never seen that. I've been to Gatorback. I can't tell you how many times. I've never seen a race on the new Diamondback track.
Yeah.
So that might be something for me to go check out.
We've never been there, so I think it's going to be a good weekend. That'll get him out of his element a little bit and race with some fast kids. And
a totally different style of dirt.
Oh, yeah.
Very different style of dirt.
We go from there. There's one at Dade City. There's one at Moto Bros. We're at Gatorback. There's one more. I have them on my phone. But I think there's 5 in total.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Dade City, good weekend. Training, Cole Bradford, awesome. This is also... Let's talk about that privateer bit for a moment because this is how those young privateer riders, and some of them older now, you look at a AJ Catanzaro who runs his academy, and he actually makes more money off of doing instruction than he does racing. Yeah. But racing is how he gets his name out there. Guy like Cole Bradford, a young up-and-coming rider, that instruction, the astonishing thing is, Michael Jordan was an amazing basketball player. He was a terrible coach. He was a terrible owner. It's not always the ones who are the best. James Stewart is not the best coach. He's turning into an amazing broadcaster. But he just did things off of feel.
Yeah. Well, you have to have a niche for it. It's just like any other thing, but I got to sit down and talk with Caleb, and we get him on here. We're gonna talk about this more and go more in depth about it. But
we like picking brains.
He's a good rider. Wants to hit some pro races at some point in his life, but he'll tell you, my dream is to own a training facility and work with kids. And he's a young kid. I mean, you have your doubts, but then I watched him with my kid over the weekend. I'm like, dude, that's what you need to be doing. Like, you are designed for that full-heartedly. And same with Cole. Matt, you got a good thing going there because Cole, he's got a way of connecting with the kids. Yeah, he's a professional rider, but he's more like on their level, and it's crazy to see it. But Bowen never wants to listen when it comes to that kind of stuff. But he listened to him, listened to Caleb, and same with like Rylan Munson. We had him on, and he did some training with Bowen, and it's the way you connect with them that it works. So these guys are doing the right thing.
And the funny thing is that level. The difference between a James Stewart and a Rylan Munson. On that bike, it seems like a lot, but it's incremental. Mm-hmm. But the basics of the technique and working with that rider to get them to see that they can do it, once they're to the point a Cole Bradford can take your son and get him to a level, then that James Stewart part is either in there or it's not. That has nothing. James Stewart, Ryan Villapoto, that has nothing to do with their trainer. That has something to do. There's an internal mechanism, and I don't care what sport it is.
You have to unlock.
Yeah.
The mentality of it, but you have to unlock something in that child.
Yeah.
It's in there. The talent's in there in anybody. I mean, if you work for it, but. I mean, that's the James Stewart talent's a different talent. We got the Jet Lawrence talent.
The Jet Lawrence talent is a completely different.
That's a generational talent, but
or generational.
Yeah, very true. So there's like that's a whole different ball game. But being a professional athlete it's in there for anybody.
Yeah.
That's where you only hear about the Ricky Carmichaels, the James Stewarts, the Jet Lawrence, the Ryan Villapotos, Ryan Dungey, so on and so forth, Jeremy McGrath. But that's where I think that's where kids get discouraged though too, because I'll never be that fast. Maybe you won't be.
Yeah.
But we've talked to Rylan, and when we went over, we did the podcast with him. He's like, I was not good.
Yeah.
I was not a good rider at all, and he's now on the Supercross circuit. So. It's in there. It's just finding the person that can unlock that, and then them having the drive.
I don't know if it was on the broadcast or a podcast I was listening to. This past week kind of shuffled into itself, the last week. And we watched the race, and I swear they were talking about, on the broadcast, about how the 40th place rider, if you went to your local track. And I was so proud because they talked about how amazing these riders are. You just happen to be seeing them on TV and they're getting lapped.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, they lapped up to 15th this week.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good riders. Phil Nicoletti got lapped.
You're talking the top 40 out of how many billion people are in this country.
Well, there were
now?
85 riders in the 450 class this week.
Yeah.
Only 40 make it to the gate. So there were 85 guys trying to make 40 spots. Those guys are all good. Yes, some of them are off their time. Some of them may have had the greatest qualifying lap of their life, and they don't have 35 minutes in them because there's no other place that you race for 35 minutes except at the pro level.
Yeah.
So those guys aren't training. They're training for 5-lap sprints. They're training for making $1,500 at their local race for 4 laps. Their sprint speed is amazing. It's a different level to go from local pro to traveling circuit 35-minute moto pro.
Yeah.
It's a different level. Alex Ray's talked about for years, like, dude, I worked on my sprint speed to make it into the main. I didn't have 20 minutes in me. I got 6.
It's severe intensity for.
Yeah.
I mean, they say that the body shouldn't even be able to hold up to that amount of intensity that these guys endure.
Yeah.
It's just pure abuse. And
well, that video they did last week of Nicoletti on the bike, that they talked about that on one of the podcasts this week, and they were talking about how much the body was moving. Oh, I can do that. And it's like, dude, he literally is doing, as they said, you get 3 guys and you're sitting on something and you're like, okay, I'm going to take this 200 pounds and I'm going to lift it. But you pull and you pull and you pull all in a different direction while I'm doing it. And it's not a normal function of the body. Yeah. It's not.
No,
it's a learned process.
It's strenuous.
Yeah.
It's extremely strenuous, and it takes this precise training program to prepare your body to do any of that.
And there's a special group like this big that is that special group. And then there's a group like this that's just below that special group. And then there's a list like here of guys who are freaking amazing, but they're not here.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, well, watch them. No, those guys would go to Dade City, Moto Bros, wherever, and on a weekend, cash out.
Well, you can put it into perspective where last week, or 2 weeks ago, at the Florida Series at Dade City, you got Chad Reed was there. Mm-hmm. Chad Reed was once on top of the world.
Yeah.
And you could watch him get beat.
Yeah.
It all trickles down that he's not training for that every single day at this point. No. So we got local guys, our local Caleb Groves. He might not have been able to hold out for the 6 laps, but
that other guy
still was sitting there. Yeah. And, off the start of the first few laps, they're all battling back and forth. So if you go and watch it, it puts it all into perspective a little bit more, where people only see the top of the world on the TV.
Yeah. And we're going to dive into that now. Last round, Ironman, it's kind of become the last round of motocross for the past few years. Great facility. The family that kind of, I don't know if they own the track or if they're just so Lucas Oil family. The track this year was racy. There were lines everywhere. It was awesome. 250 class did what 250 class does. Joe Shimoda, by the way, I love his honesty. He is the shortest interview in the world, and I just think it's because he's like, dude, I'm done. I'm out. But I loved it. He finished, and they're like, how'd you do? And he's like, it was my last race, so I just want to say thank you to everybody. I'm thinking, I don't think it's announced yet that you're leaving, but I appreciate the honesty of telling everybody this was my last race. But he's still going to do SMX with Pro Circuit. Yeah. Hunter did what Hunter needed to do, especially once Justin Cooper went down. There was some great racing. The 450 class, the 250 class. Why can't Budds Creek and Ironman be the, hey, look how racy these tracks were. Guys were going everywhere.
Yeah.
And the last 2 rounds, I even told Michelle, I said, the last 2 rounds, awesome. Great. Fantastic.
Yeah, it was racing. I only got to watch 250 Moto 2. So we watched it at Dade City. We all gather around the TV in the pits, and anniversary kind of messed that up yesterday, watching the rest of the race.
Those are important.
Yeah, I had to take the wife out to eat. But what we got to watch of it was phenomenal racing.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. We at Dade City were a little confused on where Hunter was at. I think he was like 11th
at one point.
But then I realized the championship was already over. They talked about him not even going out.
Yeah.
In Moto 2. So, but he still raced. They all put in awesome racing for
riding around. I mean, the skill level. He rode around safely and finished 9th in the second moto. It's like, I would love that skill set. I would, but hey, let's give some props. Ryder DeFrancesco. I don't know how to say his last name.
I say DeFrancesco.
Yeah, dude. I will tell you. I know Shimoda's leaving, but Hammaker, DeFrancesco, Shimoda. We're gonna have a talk here in a second about Faulkner because.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm my wife and I are both like, we can't support it. But dude, Mitch must be like, okay. Oh, thank God. It's only taking me all year to finally get guys running up front.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about the growth. And when these guys go pro, everybody was DeFrancesco and Hayden. Let's not forget the golden child, baby Jesus, was Adam Cianciarulo. And Cooper Webb owned him when they went pro.
Yeah.
Cooper Webb still owns him. But guess who's also coming around into their own now after how many injuries? Adam Cianciarulo is starting to plug away and plug away and plug, and he made it 2 full seasons, like motocross and supercross. He made it through. Cool. Like, we're on it. So very, very happy for Kawasaki. That stat of that they have never not made a season since 1982 without winning a race, and that it almost got broken until Shimoda won.
Yeah.
Dude, how crazy is that? Like, that is amazing as a brand to know that every year you're at least going to win one race.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But, like, it was awesome to see Ryder D up there because I watched him win Loretta's on a Cobra 50 at 4 years old.
Okay.
Like, I watched that happen. I wasn't there,
Yeah.
but I watched it. And to see how he's now turned into what he is, I mean, everybody knew that was coming. But
It's just taking time.
It took years
Yeah.
and years and years to make that happen.
And I think cool. Looking for next year, I'm kind of like, it's going to be fun next year. It's going to be fun.
I think Supercross is going to be a blast.
Between Shimoda, Deegan, I'm sure Hampshire, I hope he's healing up because he's missed the last 2 rounds. We'll see him at SMX, I'm sure. But, dude, there is a battle because we've lost, and I don't know if they're the Hunter brothers, the Lawrence brothers. They can't seem to get it right when they talk about them.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. It's the Lawrence brothers. But they're both gone. They're both going. It's not announced yet, but Hunter's going 450.
Yeah.
He's not staying in the 250 class. So that's why Shimoda and what's the other guy's name? Oh my goodness gracious. Who's the other guy for Honda 250?
Now, see, you got to bring
Yep.
up names, and
Yep.
then I
But
draw a
those
blank.
2 guys are going to be their East-West next year.
Yeah.
And they're Hunter and Jet because the worst kept secret is Sexton's leaving Honda. So it's like they've got their team now set up. And I'm guessing once that Shimoda and, for some reason, the rider that's left my brain, once they leave 250s, Honda's like, we're going to find somebody to run this 250 operation.
Yeah.
But I think the Shimoda deal has a lot to do with Super Agent, and Myrtle coming to Honda because now that entire Honda team, if you really think about it, the entire Honda operation is run by one agent.
Yeah.
Lucas Myrtle has all 4 riders on that team. So I think we should break it down that way. Yamaha, Levi Kitchen is leaving. He was running a good race and just ate poop.
Mm-hmm.
And he also bailed out. Hayden Deegan did not have a great race, but boy, did he make some Instagram followers.
Skying jumps like he does.
Well, he took the finish line from a double to a triple.
He soared that thing. I will say that I actually watched that this morning because I didn't watch the whole thing, and I seen that jump and I'm like, dude.
And he landed it beautifully.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Justin Cooper, supposedly his last 250 ride. I'm guessing he'll do SMX, but that's that all new thing that we don't know anything about. His last 250 ride. Styles Robertson, kind of invisible.
Yeah.
So next year, is it weird to think that an 18-year-old kid's going to be the team leader for Star Yamaha next year?
Kinda.
Deegan's going to be the leader.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to build it around him.
On the 250 side.
On the 250 side, yeah. So,
I don't know if that's good or bad though, because
don't you need? Are they going to? Well, they re-signed Jordan Smith though, right?
Yeah,
So,
and the kid's talented, but there's also this hype and the bad negativity that he's drawing in with them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm anxious to see what happens.
So we've touched on Kawasaki. They're I don't know who they're going to bring in. Oh my goodness gracious, where'd the brain go? Talon Max Volan.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Is he going to
No.
Star? He's going to Star.
I don't remember.
But there's some
I'm
riders.
not prepared for this part of it. today.
Hammaker's coming. Hammaker's staying. Faulkner.
I mean,
Can we touch on Faulkner for a
You want to dig
second?
into Faulkner? Because
Can we touch on Faulkner?
So, did he come out with an injury or was?
I have not heard.
Okay, I haven't heard yet either. I didn't know if you seen anything. So
No.
I am not a Faulkner fan.
I'm not now.
I don't know how Faulkner still has a ride with Mitch, of all people.
Yeah.
I think they've stuck with him far too long. And Faulkner cannot keep it together at all. I mean, the talk was all Sexton and how he's been terrible at wrecking and this and that. But let's not forget about Faulkner, who cannot keep a bike straight.
Well, can we leave, let's make a short thing on this. Let's give some ammunition. Dude, you fell, you flat landed, you landed face first. Get up and ride. You're trying to get in the top 20 in points. You were rolling around. You're up. You're rolling around. Why is it every time you crash? When he crashed with Alex Martin at Southwick a couple years ago, he rolled around on the ground like his life ended. It's like, dude, you got to get up and you got to go.
You just came back. The kid is talented.
Yes.
Right? When he rides, the kid is talented, and I'm going to give him that. But you just, with that position, made it into the playoffs.
Yes.
You've been gone half the season, and you made it in. So why throw it away? So we were sitting and talking while we were watching the race. We're like, well, maybe it's a little worse than expected. I mean, those guys are giving him the benefit of the doubt. I don't give him the benefit of the doubt anymore.
I'm not either.
Sure, he's had some pretty nasty injuries, but the rolling around, the boo-hooing, like, you lost yourself the playoffs at this point.
Yeah, he's out. Like, I mean, he's got to do – I don't even know if he's top 30. I don't know the points. I haven't seen it.
No, because when he went down, he was 29th. So he was literally right there. And then maybe broke a rib. I don't know. That sucks. I've been there. It's miserable.
But you gotta fight through that, man. Unless it's more severe than –
There was what, 10 minutes left?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Just ride around. Like
you're right there.
And I'm sorry. Some of his accidents, you're right, have been terrible. But there have been a few. I point out the Alex Martin I think it was Alex Martin. It may have been Jeremy. I'm not sure. But it was Star on Pro Circuit. And it wasn't even a bad. It was that famous right-hander at Southwick. And one went outside, one went inside. They met and they crashed. And he rolled around like his life ended. And I'm like, dude. And at that point, I got kind of curious. Yesterday, dude, come on. Come on. That was not like, dude, you got to get up. You got to go. Like, you got to go. Like, if you want this, you got to go. I think, and I don't know, we don't know the injury clauses. We don't know all this stuff. We don't know if Monsters pay. We don't know.
It's speculation, but at this point, like, I don't think he wants it. Like, I don't think this is what he wants
There's
to do.
not a drive. There is not a toughness drive.
When he's interviewed, though, he's, this is all he wants, this and that, but there is absolutely nothing to back that up.
And is it it's going to be old manish. He's got a beautiful life. He's got a beautiful wife. He's broken away from his parents. He's got this independence. What else does he need? Like, that drive to I look at a guy like Adam Cianciarulla who literally could walk away between his real estate investments, his contracts, he could walk away and never touch a dirt bike again. He's going to go into a booth somewhere and be fine. Mm-hmm. And he is still out there grinding it out.
Yeah, he comes out swinging.
Yeah.
He comes off injuries just swinging.
And you see, and I'm with you. Faulkner is a guy I want to cheer for. He's the farm boy, pig farming family. They gave up so much for him to do it. Damn it, you fell, you faced a jump. Fantastic. Get up and ride it out. Like, there was nothing that showed yesterday that he couldn't. And yes, Dale Earnhardt died on turn 4, and we don't understand how he died on that crash. So maybe there was more to that crash than what we saw. But watching the crash, he didn't get hit. The bike didn't hit him. No one else hit him.
It looked like he got the wind knocked out of him.
Yes.
It sucks. It's hard to breathe, but
fight through it.
I've finished races with broken collarbones,
and
broken feet.
He did not finish. Yeah. And that's the part that, as a fan of these guys are tough as shit, he doesn't exude that to me. And I'm not saying I've watched some of his crashes. When he tried to race with the ACL, trying to win the champion, yes, I see that. But dude, you are on a comeback. You got to come back. You got to come back and fight through it.
And he almost did.
Yeah.
Right there.
And give us that story. I'm telling you, had you finished in the top and you made it and last chanced your way into that, I'm still one of your biggest fans. But, even my wife, who is a passive fan, she's like, I can't cheer for him. And it's like, dude, you're I know you don't care. I'm nobody. But you got to at least get on the bike, fight through it, and if you can't finish, say,
Get off.
Get off. But you just waller around, you're sitting there, and it's like, or at least come out and say, I'm sorry. I broke a rib or something, and I couldn't do it. I thought I had punctured a lung. I'm good. I'm good. Ty Masterpool had appendicitis and wanted to ride, but Doc Bodner wouldn't let him. That's what I want to see.
The drive.
That's what I want to see.
Just some drive.
And why are we seeing Chase Sexton? Chase Sexton can't win the damn championship because it's over. It was over 2 rounds ago. What does he do for 2 motos? Chases the dude down. They're on the same team just to ruin the opportunity for having a perfect season. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
He's still out there grinding.
So we jumped ahead. We did Star. We went back to Pro Circuit because Mitch Payton must be pulling his hair out. The guy looked as calm as could be yesterday, but the guy must be like, excuse my French, what the fuck is going on with my team? Seriously. We got guys back in it. And I think he had to see some positive with DiFrancesco. Hammaker was having a good ride yesterday. The TLD team. Pierce Brown was invisible, and then all of a sudden was in the top 10.
Yeah,
what's up with Pierce Brown?
He is just, it's kind of disappointing, the performance this year.
Yeah.
And he's a good rider. He's a really good rider. And I was not impressed whatsoever. I expected so much more out of him because.
But he's a good rider.
He'll come out swinging in Supercross.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of guys aren't good. Like I said before, if I had the opportunity to only ride Supercross in my life, I would take that opportunity any day of the week because it's fun. It's technical. I like the fun, slow, technical, tight tracks. That's where I always excelled.
Enduro is your friend.
No, it's not. It's not even close to my friend. I don't see no big triples on there. But that style of riding is always what suited me best, the arena cross kind of stuff. So I was good at outdoors, but it's not my favorite. So I think a lot of these guys are the same aspect. I mean, stadium racing is always the pinnacle of the sport.
Max Volan's going to be making a change. He's the only KTM 250 rider. I don't know what they're going to do. Oh, I guess they got Vial. Vial will be back next year. They're going to have to add somebody. I don't know who's going to KTM next year, but Volan's gone. I think he's going to Star. Kitchen's going to Kawasaki. That's the one. Which will be, I think, actually a good.
No, we're trying to figure out who's going Honda.
Chance Hymas. That's right. Who's.
Yeah, he's missing from the picture at the moment. But
but Star, Kawasaki or Pro Circuit, sorry, TLD. You have factory KTM. We did Honda, Suzuki. It's a cluster. Whatever they literally are plugging and playing riders. Like, hey, we need you at WSX. Okay, well you're here this weekend, so you're gonna do it outdoors. And I don't know what Suzuki's doing.
They're a big team, but they're
disheveled.
I think they're slowly filtering out.
Yeah.
They're always gonna have Suzuki's out there.
Yeah.
But
I think with Triumph and Beta and those coming in, I think that's going to even expedite their departure.
Yeah, the factory support I think is leaving, and I think in the next few years it'll be very, very slim.
So the 250s were awesome, great. I would love to say the 250 season in outdoor motocross was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. It was awesome. I'm looking forward to the SMX. I think my focus is going to be on the 450s just because the prize pool is bigger, and there were guys, we're going to touch on that, guys literally there yesterday trying to make sure they got in. because the prize pool's so big.
Mm-hmm.
On the 250 side, it's not as big, but that's the opening stages. So congratulations. I'm looking forward. We didn't touch on Husqvarna, but I think we have Hampshire. I don't know what Swole's going to do. Swole, by the way, we're looking at final results, and I said, darling, did you hear anything about Swole all year? And she's like, no. And I said, he finished 9th overall. Literally invisible all year long. He finishes 9th.
Bits and pieces of them is about all you get.
Yeah.
But
somehow he finished 9th.
he didn't race all of them, did he?
I don't know. He finished 9th. I don't know.
I think we missed a few with Swole, but another Florida boy.
But is he over? Is he overhyped?
I want to say no, because you can see performance in him in Supercross.
Is he also? Oh boy, I don't want to get in trouble. Is he also kind of soft? Like, oh god, like Forkner? Forkner?
No, I don't. I will disagree with that one.
Okay, because he's had a tough life to get there. So my thought is you should have that fight. You should have that bulldog in you.
I think he's just having a tough season.
He's never been a great Supercross guy. He's never been.
But he can come out and perform in Supercross.
But is he staying with Husqvarna, or is he gonna have to find another ride?
That could be that could be the whole issue. Is all it takes is an uncomfortable situation on a bike, and you're not gonna ride well at all. Like I think we kind of covered this weekend. I'm like, I can't ride a Yamaha. I can jump on your bike and ride it around and look okay on it, but it's not comfortable to me. It's not a comfortable bike. They're too wide. They don't fit me right. So
you don't like their rider triangle?
No. So could he be on a bike that's just not working? I mean, at that point or that stage of your career, you're going to take any opportunity you can get, but the bike just he might not be jiving with the bike. I don't know. I think,
but he finished 9th. I want to point that out on the positive. I did not hear about him probably 3 times the entire 11-round season, and he finished 9th. Mm-hmm. So, damn it, congratulations, awesome. I know we throw out these things, but they're literally things that we see and we feel, and we just don't understand. Like, we don't understand, and the thing that you and I both get frustrated with is no one ever talks about it. Like, dude, in the NFL, everything is an open book. Dude's got a twisted ankle. He's day to day. We don't know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. I just saw like the center from the Bucks just got put on injured reserve. He doesn't even get to play this year. Like, he's done for the season. We all know that. We don't know what the hell's going on inside of Jalek Swole, Austin Forkner. We don't know what's going on inside these guys. I understand that you can't. You can.
The sport's so secretive.
Yes.
Like, over the years, it's developed into pure secrecy, which is it sucks for the outsiders like us that actually care.
This is where we need. Here's another one of your Instagram shorts or whatever you're doing with our stuff. Lucas Myrtle, you have the potential because you are you are an influencer in the sport. Open this sport up, man. Get us more open. You have that potential. Steve Mathis, I know that we have Hopper and all those guys. You guys have thrown out too many hot takes. These guys that are legitimately Myrtle, you're an agent to 4 riders on the same damn team. Open us up.
Well, Mitch Payton, when they interviewed him on Saturday, and he said, we found something with the bike.
What was it?
You're never going to know, because it's, especially that team, the secrecy within that team is probably the worst secrecy there is.
Well, here's the funniest part of all that. I've never understood this. I race Yamahas, you race Kawasaki's, my buddy races a Honda. They're not the same damn bike. If you find something on your bike, it doesn't mean that NASCAR, they will tell you, dude, we did XYZ. I'm watching VIR this weekend. It was all production. Porsche, Aston Martin, Ferrari, Acura, Mercedes. Guess what? They don't give a shit because your car and my car, completely different.
All those bikes are gone through with a fine-tooth comb. That's my biggest thing is somebody's going to see that bike at some point.
And guess
broken down.
They all buy them. Honda owns every brand. Mm-hmm. They own one of every brand to see what that bike looks like. Why are we trying to hide? We're only holding ourselves back. And that's where I say, Myrtle, dude, you have the opportunity. Steve Mathis, I know people hate you, but dadgummit, you're in there every week. You're there every week. I know Weege and those guys can't. Even Jason Thomas at times, because he was in it, sometimes holds back. And it's like, guys, we need to know. We probably don't need to know, but it puts us, okay, cool. That's what's happening.
It's a better understanding.
Yeah.
That's the only thing about this sport that drives me crazy. Even at the amateur level, it's we do this, and somebody will tell you what they'll do to a bike, and then it's like, and then a few secret things.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. It all comes down to, can the dude ride it that way? I can tell you right now, Dylan Ferrandis and Eli Tomac do not set their bike up the same.
No. If you're building a motor, and that is your hobby, or not your hobby, your business. So your cycle works, okay? Yeah. PW50 racing. And that is your livelihood. Sure, you don't want to give your secrets up. Like, you're very well known for your nationally prepped bikes. Yeah. So I can understand not blabbing to the world what you do, but when you're a factory team, yeah, I do get some of the secrecy to it, just because there is other Kawasaki teams. I mean,
yeah, but
they're not factory backed. No. I mean, you're the one that's a multi-billion-dollar company,
but if Star gave their information to Muck-Off couldn't afford to do it anyway.
No, I don't know. Yeah, and that's one of the things we're never gonna know. Yeah, you could.
It's so frustrating, though. It truly is frustrating.
Yeah,
and I love this sport. I love it with all my being. Like, I literally sat down and watched an auto race yesterday because I was like, oh my God, I'm home. And I'm watching this beautiful track, and they're talking about the cars and the pit stop and what happened. And I'm like, holy cow. If that had been the motocross race, I wouldn't have been able to ascertain any information because they wouldn't have said a damn thing. It would have been like, oh yeah, we found something. Okay, well, what did you find? Like, it was a shim?
Doesn't matter.
And guess what? If you told me it was a shim placement in the stack of the shock, well, guess what? It doesn't matter because I don't know where you put the shim or what it was. You just could tell me.
It's very easy to dumb down information. Yeah. But there's not even...
No. So we've touched on 250. We have gone... This has been a good release. We got 16 minutes before we got to quit. 450s. Before anything happens and we talk about perfection, I want to give a shout out to Chase Sexton.
Put on a charge from what I've seen. I mean, I only seen bits and pieces, but
the entire season, he tried his ass off. He complimented Jet. He talked about what they were doing. I want to compliment Honda on knowing he's leaving and continuing to work with Chase on making his bike better. And that pursuit, that is true professionalism. Chase could have gone out there yesterday. He's made his money. He's a Supercross champion. He doesn't need a damn thing. He's good. He made good money. He went out there and like, my only goal is I want to make sure this kid doesn't get a perfect season. Mm-hmm. That's all I want to do. And he tried his ass off. So my props, he's not my favorite guy, although he's becoming one of my favorite guys because he's a nice guy. All I've ever heard from privateers is he will walk up to us and talk to us. That is, man, congratulations. You deserve what you're getting. And I don't mean getting beat. I mean, congratulations on signing a new contract. Congratulations on Supercross. Congratulations for just being, that's the desire. Mm-hmm. He wasn't winning Supercross, but he kept plugging away, and then the champion went out, and he was there. And he was there.
You know, the whole sport revolves around consistency.
Yeah, and he plugs away. So I just want to give a big shout out to Chase Sexton on congratulations, man. You're a beast, and he's fallen. And guess what he does? He gets up.
I've watched him take more dirt naps, essentially.
Yeah.
And get right back up fighting.
Yep.
Even if the bike's bent and tattered and beaten, and you rarely ever see him down.
And I also want to say congratulations to Adam Cianciarulo. That's an easy pick. He's a media icon. People love him. But, dude, from what he's been through, to be honest about it, honest as much as he could, and then come back and finish 5th in motocross, where he doesn't know if his arm's going to work or not. And just, hey, what I got is what I got. There was talk early in the season when Ty Masterpool was you might lose your factory ride. And the guy just plugs away and finishes 5th.
Mm-hmm.
And so congratulations. Now let's touch on perfection.
I mean, what is there to say besides we knew it was coming?
Holy cow.
And it's been a long time since it happened.
Yeah.
But
and James Stewart gave him props.
Yeah. You have to.
Yeah.
There's absolutely, even if you don't like that family at all, which I don't know how you
wouldn't.
Couldn't.
Because they're the most humble family.
Like, there's nobody that's more excited than them to make that happen.
They made the point in the broadcast. They interviewed Darren, Dazzy, whatever you want to call him, Dad. He wasn't wearing one of the shirts. He still had his Honda shirt.
Yeah.
He was talking about how you really have to process and continue striving. I think they really keep kind of tight rein. I mean, both of their kids have become instant multimillionaires.
Well, who gets that kind of emotion just over an undefeated season? Yeah, you won the championship, but like the pure emotion knowing that he did it. It wasn't fake.
No, but what did he do on the podium? The first thing he did, they asked him, I want to congratulate my brother on everything he's accomplished. Like, that could have been just like your egotistical private moment, and no one would have said anything.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to congratulate his brother. Which, by the way, can we touch on the fact that why was Hunter wearing a 450 motocross championship shirt? Like, they gave him his number one shirt. Did they just, oh my God, we forgot, we grabbed the wrong one, and he's wearing Jet's shirt?
I didn't see. I don't know.
It was 450 motocross on the front, 450 motocross on the back. I told Michelle, I'm like, maybe the front says 250, and they went to the front and it was 450. And I'm like, I'm guessing someone ran to the truck to grab
the wrong one.
And they grabbed the wrong one, and they're like, hey, it's Alpine Star. Cool, we're good to go.
I mean, that's a hell of a thing to have, is grabbing the wrong shirt because you have both champions.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, congratulations to Honda. All 5 championships. I mean, that hasn't happened. I think they said Yamaha did it in 1978, but it wasn't all 5. They had different.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's amazing. That's amazing. And yes, the field was depleted. But guess what? The field was depleted. The bike has to run everything. He has to not crash. He has to win.
Well, even Hunter, the bike did not mechanically
Yeah.
perform once.
Yeah.
I mean, there's many factors that went into play. His starts were terrible.
Yeah.
He still came out and did it.
Did it. But Jet, man, I am looking forward. I don't think he's going to be, and I could be completely wrong. I'll just throw it out there. I don't think he's going to be he's not going to go perfect in Supercross next year. He's not going to go perfect. I don't think that's the case, because that's only happened twice, where someone's been perfect twice.
Well, I don't think you're going to see perfection in Supercross, but I think we had a speculation on how good he was going to be in motocross, and you and I had a little battle about that. Where,
damn, he was good.
I think I was right.
You were right. I also wonder, Motocross the Nations is going to be lit this year, between France just announcing theirs. By the way, did you see
the delay?
Did you see Dylan Ferrandis?
Hmm.
Dylan Ferrandis. By the way, it's Renault, Fevre, and Tom Vial for France. There's this really good American-based motocross guy named Dylan Ferrandis that would love to ride for France. He was not chosen because they chose their 2 MXGP guys and then Tom Vial.
Yeah.
Dylan says, maybe I should get my American citizenship so I have the chance to race Motocross the Nations again. I thought that was spectacular. You have this guy who's, just because he's in America, he is a 2-time champion. He's damn good. But they're going to Ernée, between France and Australia. I love America. I don't know how we're going to compete.
It's going to be a fight.
Whew. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be. We still have quite a bit of time because we got to get through the SMX rounds. But 450 wise, congratulations. A lot of privateers got their due. Ty Masterpool, HBI Racing, congratulations on that. I do want to shout out. He did end up coming with appendicitis, so I guess he had to have an appendectomy. Why do these big words have to get thrown out, and why do I have to say them? But congratulations to HBI. Saw a post today from Matt Bell talking about what a great first year throwing the team together. You and I are kind of in that same small boat.
Yeah.
And he said many more to come. And I'm like, all right, I like it. And we've got to get him on. Matt, we know you're a successful business person. I saw you doing a seminar. We're not in the same industry, but you service ours.
Put you in on a secret that's very soon to come.
Fantastic. I love the guy. I love local guy doing it for motocross. But fantastic. What a great season. For as scared as we were, I want your opinion. For as scared as we were of what 450s was going to be with the lack of people, what do you think?
I think it did well. It was a season that I predicted. I never expected Jet to go undefeated.
No.
But we had this discussion that I knew he was going to be very dominant.
Yeah.
Total dominance was not what I expected, but
No.
it was a good season. The racing wasn't there in the 450s.
But outside of the top three,
it was.
There was some damn good racing.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'll say this over and over again. I'm excited for Supercross. I'm just gonna leave it there because we got a lot of guys coming back, and there's more on top of that story. It's gonna be fantastic.
And I would like to congratulate. I have to say this as we finish up. I would like to congratulate my wife. I had a dominating performance at Budds Creek. Unbelievably dominating performance. She beat me in final Supercross, motocross. We haven't done SMX yet. She is ahead of me by exactly 1,000 positions on the final rankings. This lady almost got
She beats you every time.
She almost got a national number last year. Supercross, I actually beat her. Motocross, she absolutely cleaned my clock. And she's 1,000 places ahead of me now as we go into SMX, so I'm probably not going to make that up. But I just want to say, if you love the sport, and it adds it makes you really pay attention to the guys who you don't see on TV all the time.
Yeah.
Play Pulp MX Fantasy. It's a lot of fun. And my wife, she loves looking at results and just smiling at me.
Play any of the fantasies.
Yeah.
I mean, even if that's not your thing, if the big guys are your thing,
Yeah.
play any fantasy because they're all fun.
And it gets you involved, and it gets you into it. But we will have an episode next week. I don't know what we'll do. We'll hopefully have a guest maybe.
We'll talk about it.
It's a not Memorial Day.
Labor
Day
Day.
weekend. But we're gonna have an episode, and then we go 3 weeks straight with SMX in Dade City and all that. We'll have stuff. So we're not gonna miss. We are not gonna take a break until I would say we might miss an episode once Motocross the Nations is over, just because we have been nonstop trying to get our feet wet.
Mm-hmm.
We're 25 episodes in without missing a week.
Yeah, we have between Nations and Supercross, we're gonna have to scale back a little bit and prepare for what's to come. So,
and just as a side note, I do have my Beyond the Curve, the Curiosity podcast that's out now on the business side.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing a podcast tomorrow on that. I missed last week because, well, I was not home. And so we will have that. And we may have some solo episodes or some interviews or something to throw in. Not that we're going to miss full weeks, but we are going to have to do some things just to get prepared for 2024.
That's correct.
Yeah. So anything else for this week? Congratulations to Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence, both title contenders, or title champions. Congratulations to Pro Motocross for putting on, I think they said this is one of the best years of attendance they've had in years. It looked awesome. All the races looked, minus the California rounds, which can we just get rid of them and go someplace else? Like, can we go to Idaho? Like, people want to go. Like, but congratulations. Great attendance. Great racing. we're going to witness something over the next 3 weeks that none of us have seen. So I'm very curious how that's going to play out. Congratulations to Josh Hill for loading up and coming and getting enough points to make sure he gets a paycheck. That's all. That's, I think, what they wanted to see from this.
Yeah.
They wanted to see guys like, oh, damn it, I don't want to have to qualify. Let me get in.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It worked. And maybe on our off week we'll talk about what's happening with World Supercross.
Yeah.
So
We can do that.
you got 3 minutes to get this unloaded. So for Derek Schaefer with DBS Custom Fabrication and Handyman Services, I am Trey Heath with Michelle and Trey Real Estate. We are Beyond the Curve, the MX podcast. We're not going away, and we're getting more involved, and we're going to be pains in the butt, but we will not have those cold takes because we're not those people.
No.
But we're going to give you information. We are making plans for 2024, and I am looking forward to it. We will see you for episode 26 next week on Labor Day. Y'all have a great week. Bye-bye.